Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 65 in Be With Me. We're near the end of the book of Hebrews. I'm going to title today, Wallet Worship. And we're going to be circling around the concept of how can I please him? And he tells us in this passage. We've moved from a section yesterday where geography informed interpretation as we went outside the gate physically and metaphorically to find Jesus, who is making a sin offering outside the camp. And that's the place where we go from woe is me to wow is me. So let's go to him outside the camp. It says in verse 13 of chapter 13. Let me start there. Verse 13, therefore let us go to him outside the camp and bear the reproach he endured. Now that's yesterday's passage where we're going to him outside the camp. Then verse 14, for here we have no lasting city, but we seek a city that is to come. So he mentions this displaced citizenship that we have. Verse 16, verse 15. Through him, let us continually offer up a sacrifice of praise to God that is the fruit of our lips that acknowledge his name. And then verse 16, do not neglect to do good and to share, there's the wallet part, and to share what you have. For such sacrifices are, get this, pleasing to God. So at the end of today, with good worship and good wallets and good activities, those activities are going to be pleasing to God. All right, so let's talk about the displaced citizenship for a second. So the people of God here have no lasting city and are seeking a city that is to come, the heavenly Jerusalem. Best described, I think, in Revelation chapter 21. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man, and he will dwell with them, and he will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. So that's the city that Christians today are looking for. So we have this displaced citizenship, no lasting city here, but we have a vision of the city that is there. So we're a longing people while we're in this city. So Christians are in a little bit have confused citizenship. Then verse 15. Through him, then, let us continually offer up a sacrifice of praise. Now that's done with our lips. Now, sacrifice, by definition, means that it cost you something. We get that from David back in 2 Samuel 24:24, when David does something bad and an angel of destruction comes, and then finally that hand of the angel is finally stayed, and David wants to make a sacrifice, and the guy whose field he's at, Arun is his name, he says, hey, I'll just give you this field and give you the stuff to make a sacrifice. And David says, no, but I will not offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God that cost me nothing. So sacrifice is supposed to have some cost to it. And he also says here it should be continual and frequent. So the costly part of it means it's either probably inconvenient, requiring some effort of your hands or your feet or your heart or possibly your wallet. It's contingent. It has to be through him. So this is what Hebrews is all about, right? Pure worship through Jesus, who makes this better sacrifice. And Hebrews probably could be summarized, no Jesus equals no worship, and all true worship comes through him. Imagine the Father receiving worship to him alone that excludes Jesus. Then I think you could get done with a very long and involved worship set or something like that, and the Father would say, what about Jesus? Don't you have anything to say about him? So then verse 16 is, do not neglect to do good and to share. So such sacrifices should be costly to you, and those are the ones that are pleasing to God. So don't say, God, I don't know what you want. Sure you do. He wants the sacrifice of praise of your lips. We already talked about that. So that's acknowledging him, but also doing good and sharing. The sharing part is what I call the wallet worship, which is costly, probably involving money or some expense. It moves you off your money game a little bit. Generosity, for sure, is costly. And what is that? It's giving something that you have, a resource that was earned, and at some part, it's some historical part, every dollar is earned. So it's generosity is taking that earned dollar and converting it into a given dollar. And that's not done without a wrestling and a little bit of a battle. So it's supposed to be costly. And actions that are hard, costly, and expensive often are pleasing to the Lord. All right, so Christians today should be expecting some sort of reproach. They should be expecting a displaced citizenship. They should be seeking a citizenship that's to come, kind of over the horizon. We should be praising continually meantime, and that means costly and contingent through Jesus, and then have the pain, if you will, of lips that acknowledge him, the sacrifice of praise and the sacrifice of activity that is doing good, sharing. So pleasing God probably involves some sacrifice. Sacrifice involves something that's costly of deed, costly of word, and here, costly of wallet. So I'm calling today wallet worship because we're supposed to be doing something while we're waiting for this heavenly city. And that is doing good, so activities that cost you something, sharing, that's financial, that's an activity that's going to cost you something, and then offering praise, which is the sacrifice of our lips. So let's do those three things. Sacrifice with our lips, sacrifice with our activities, and sacrifice with our wallet. That is wallet worship. Thanks for listening.